Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another movie review with the MKninja. And I just got back from Finding Dory. And of course, I have my notes since, unlike Dory, I forget things. So, yeah, it's been a long time since I saw the original Finding Nemo, but I remember that being one of the Pixar movies that I did really enjoy. It's one of the first ones I ever saw. It's one of those Disney movies that really got me into Disney movies. And still holds up, really good movie. For the time, it looks amazing. And it's been so long, and computer animation has come so far. And I'm happy to say, it looks breathtaking. Like, computer animation is really hard to do, and it's nice to see just how good it's become. The models, the animation, the ocean, the views, all of it looks freaking amazing. It is a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing to look at movie. You can even watch it on mute and be like, oh my god, it looks so good. Like, it is just amazing. I really enjoyed it. And luckily, like, with Pixar, sometimes we can get a sequel, or only like once we can get a sequel like Cars 2, or we can get a sequel like Toy Story 2. And people are wondering, oh, which one will this be? And I'm happy to say this is much more like Toy Story 2, because it is a fantastic sequel that definitely builds upon the characters, and luckily the characters are still the same ones you remember. Marlin is still the very cautious, very nice, but also kind of just a bit too protective. Nemo is still the very sweet kid. Dory's still very nice, but very forgetful. And we learn more about her. And this whole movie is about Dory, and it really works because like Dory was such a really good character from the first one, and you wonder, oh, will it be bad if they make a side character like a really main character in this one? And no, it translates perfectly. Dory never gets annoying. Dory never gets like her shtick is never old or anything like that. It's very endearing. It's very cute, and you feel for her. You sympathize with her, and like moments where I can't really call it a snap because it's like a very short moment that's it's like sometimes in movies you'll see like, oh, this is the time where they snap and they separate, and that does happen, but to be honest, it actually isn't really much of a snap. It's just like one sentence. And you can be like, oh, I can't really feel bad about it, but I can see that it is kind of still sad. And as we got characters that we loved, and we see some old characters that we saw before, not too much. Like we see, I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil any characters that you see, but there are some old characters in the movie, and then there are new characters. There's a character called Hank. There's a character called Destiny and Bailey, and these three side characters, beautiful. Like if they somehow make a third one, those characters better show up because they were really good characters. Dory's friendship with Hank was really nice. I really loved their dynamic going on. And all these characters had something to bring to the table. They're very quirky nature, and they were very enjoyable characters. Very good cast. I really like the idea of Dory becoming like a big main character and having it be about her. In fact, she appears most in the movie, which makes sense. It's called Finding Dory, and I love how they go to new places and they've never been before. And I also love how there are very subtle messages of like environmental conservation, not conversation, sorry, conservation, like protect the environment, keep the ocean safe. In fact, they're even in an institute, a marine institute, and I think that is very nice because it is a very good message and something that does need to be talked about, how saving our oceans and stopping things like climate change and all that kind of stuff. And it's very subtle. It's not really like in your face, but like if you think about it, you're like, oh yeah, that is that, because there's like little things that happen and such like that, and they do talk about it every now and then, but they don't push it in your face, which is really nice. And the movie has a very nice way of flowing. Like I've heard from some people from reviews, they were saying, "Oh, it felt like it would have stopped 3 times," but I did not get that at all. I didn't feel like it would have stopped 3 times. When it was ending, I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna end here," because there were many points where I was like, "Oh, it's not gonna end," but it does. The ending is kind of like a roller coaster ride because it does have quite a whole bunch of moments. So in some ways you can see like, oh, something's going to go wrong here, but like maybe not the way you expect. But I really love how the movie plays itself out. It is very good. And once again, Pixar knocks it out of the park, and they get a home run with this movie. Very enjoyable movie. The feels are real. There are good feels in this movie, and they might not be like tear jerkers like in some of the other Pixar movies. It's not inside out levels of tear jerking, but it still is like, oh, and like maybe a few tears and stuff like that. And it definitely is Very heartwarming at the end. It's a feel-good movie. It is a very feel-good movie, and it is one of the best movies of this year, definitely, that I've seen so far. Overall, I'm going to give Finding Dory a 9 out of 10. Go see this movie because it's really good. This is actually the second collectible ticket that I've gotten. The other one was for Hardcore Henry, which was not nearly as good as this one. I thought it was still a fun movie, but like, go see it. Pixar's amazing. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other videos. Also make sure to check out my supporters, all that great stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Peace out.